Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about the things I've been loving this summer so far. And if you can look behind me, you will see that I've made a list because I'm studious like that, okay? And I like being organized a little bit. So I'm gonna walk you through about 13 different things I'm obsessed with recently, and the genres are all over the place. So it's not a specific category, it's literally multiple different things. I just nitpicked things I'm just like, they get me excited, they make me happy, and I love them, and so I'm gonna share them with you. I will say, this is a sit down, obviously, so for those people that are a little bit short span attention, maybe just skip this one or try your best, but it's gonna be just a sit down conversation like it's a friend to friend kind of situation. So hopefully you take some things that you like from this and you are able to implement it into your own life. And yeah, okay, I hope you enjoy. So let's start with the 13 things I have on my list. The first thing I have on my list that I have been loving is red nails. And I have them all right now. I'm the girl who will not go to a nail salon. I don't know why. I think that I would just rather spend my money elsewhere. I've talked about this on my social media before. I just don't like spending, I don't know, they're like $70 now. Maybe you can get it for $50, or usually it's like $100. I just don't understand why I would spend that kind of money on nails when I can do them at home. And maybe sometimes it's not gonna look as professional. But I think everybody's so different that like different things are more important to other people. So for me, when it comes to something that is important, it's not necessarily getting my nails done, but I do love doing them at home. So I will do my nails at home. And this past summer so far, I have just been loving the pop of red. I have like bought a few tops that are red, and having red nails has just been so fun. So red nails, 10 out of 10, would recommend. And also, everybody else has been obsessed with red recently. Maybe I really genuinely did not think that I was like hopping on a trend, but maybe subconsciously I am, I'm not sure. Usually I don't tend to jump on trends, like just because I am so like one-minded, like I normally just follow my own little path. And so when I came to liking red nails, it's also like everybody loves red nails right now too. So I don't know if I was inspired by everybody having red nails or I just gravitated towards that in my nail little bag, because I have a bag with all my nail polish in it, and I saw red in there, started painting my nails red, and I'm like, okay, love it, love it. I think they also look really nice on like darker skin tones. I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe it just looks good on everyone. Red is just good on everyone. That is, period. That is the bottom line, is red just looks good on everyone. Anyway, sorry, I'm just like holding my hand like this because it's kind of annoying. Anyways, I'll put that away. But red nails, kind of been obsessed with it, love it. If you're not on this trend, maybe try it this summer. It's just a fun way to just like do a pop of color this summer, Next thing I have on my list is walking. I've always loved walking, okay? But I kind of stopped a little bit this past like a couple of months, just because maybe I wasn't really prioritizing it as much. I am back to walking again, and you have to be so specific on the time you go for walks now because it's like 100 degrees outside right now. So like you really have to time it very specifically on when you go out, unless you're wanting to die outside. But aside from that, I've just been loving walking outside in nature. It's been like one of my favorite things I do throughout the week. It's just so like nourishing for the soul, I think, especially when it's outside. Like it's just so good. It just so good, and it feels nice and you feel better afterward. Next thing I have on the list kind of goes in this category, I guess, would be sauna. So I recently switched to a different gym than I used to go to before, solely for the purpose of the sauna. I've been like investigating some things in terms of like health, and I've like kind of came to the conclusion for myself that I want to start going to the sauna more, because detoxification has been really important with me. I've been going through some health stuff this past year, and so getting my detoxification going and at its best has been very crucial for me. And so when I came across sauna, it became something I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna start it, I'm gonna implement it. And so I switched to a new gym, and I've been loving going to the sauna. I don't go every day. I go whenever I usually can, and I don't go for that long. Sometimes it's longer than others. It kind of just depends on the day. But sauna is so nice. It's kind of weird that it kind of happened literally when summer started. But you know what? Like I'm sweating more in the sauna than I would just like outside. You know, who's spending like 3 hours outside? Not me, personally. Sometimes, very rare, but like not really, not like at once. And that's kind of what you'd have to do. Like working out outside is kind of what you'd have to do in order to get the same sweat as you would in the sauna, even though it's like really hot outside. So that being said, I also need to stop saying that being said. I hate that I say that. I've noticed myself like saying that in all of my videos, and it's kind of a thing that I've personally just been like noting for myself. Aside from all of that stuff, saunas are great, wonderful, great thing for detoxification, and it's just really nice for your skin as well. So highly recommend it. I will add, if you do start going to the sauna, you need to be on top of your like hydration as well as your electrolytes, because I've noticed that I become deficient with electrolytes really quickly, more than like usual. And so specifically potassium, magnesium, and sodium. And sodium, like for someone who eats mostly plant-based and cooks at home, is kind of harder to do because you really have to add all the salt. So those are things I'm keeping in mind as well. And if you start doing it, some things you should also keep in mind. Moving on, we have reading. Now, I will say in the sauna, I love reading. I love reading in general, but I've been taking my book into the sauna with me, and when my eyes are not like full of just my sweat and I haven't gotten to that point, I just love to read. And then once I get to that point, I really can't read anymore. But until that point, I just love it. It's like a great way to get like the time moving faster, as well as like killing two birds with one stone. Like you're educating yourself while also like detoxifying yourself. It's so phenomenal, you guys. It's kind of like one of my favorite like multitasking habits. It's called habit stacking. I was trying to figure out the right word. It's not really multitasking. I would say it's more of like a habit stacking kind of situation. So definitely would recommend, if you start the sauna, maybe bring your book with you as well, because I find that like a lot of times we say we don't have the time for things, and I've just been really working on implementing things into my day for max purpose or for like the best result. And sometimes doing two things at once is very possible, like the sauna and reading. And I'm making time for reading because it's important to me, and I was always like scrambling for time and rushing for time because I'm like, I don't have the time to read. And now I do. Like now I've made a way to do something that's good for my body as well as something for my brain. So reading, love it. And I've been like loving reading multiple different categories in terms of like genre. I've been loving historical fiction. I've been loving classics. I've been loving just like fiction, like story fictions. I used to be really obsessed with like dystopian series, and I think I might hop back into that because I usually generally like to read a few books at a time. I was gonna quit doing that just so that I could finish a book faster, but I actually realized that I have like a book at home and then I have a book when I'm out and about, and so I'm gonna keep it that way. So I do like a book that's more educational per se, and then, is that even right? Is that per se? Is that correct? I don't think that's correct. I would say that like I read a book that's more for education, and then I'll read another book that's more like dystopian, like fiction kind of situation, or like just stories. I actually just like stories too. So moving past that, after reading we have Pilates. I love Pilates. Oh my gosh. I get excited about Pilates. It is so hard, and it doesn't get easy. It never gets easy, and it hasn't been easy for me. Like I started doing Pilates in January, and I only do it like max 2 times a week, occasionally 3 times a week. But even then, it will always just be hard. And I think that like one of the reasons why I have multiple reasons why I'm obsessed with Pilates. Okay, let's start with number 1. Why am I obsessed with Pilates? I'm here for alignment. I'm so disaligned in my body, shoulders, hips, and I know for a fact that like the more you do Pilates, the better your alignment gets. So I'm really working towards my alignment, and this might not be my fix for my like disalignment, but I think it's definitely been helping, because usually when you're disaligned, muscle groups and one side might be weaker than the other. And so when you're targeting those like on their own, you really can like pinpoint it. And for me, that's been so like interesting to pinpoint, like, oh, this hip, like this part is really weak. And I've been loving that. I don't know, maybe things like that don't get you excited, but for me, it's been something that has gotten me excited, because now I know what part I need to work out a little bit more. Another reason why I love Pilates is because it's so hard. I know that kind of sounds weird, but like when things are challenging and hard and difficult, I think I like it because it's challenging myself. And after I finish it, I'm like, good job. Like, you did that, kid. Like, good job. So I think that's another reason. I can think of a lot more, but for some reason my brain's just going fart. Another thing that I love about Pilates is that like you're doing it with a bunch of like, I mostly do it with girls, because we'll have a guy here and there, but most of the time is usually girls, at least in the classes I've been. And it's just like, it's kind of like nice to feel the comfort of other people like struggling with you. And then at the end of class, we're all just like, oh, like together. And it's just like comforting. Yeah. Like we're all doing it together, and it's nice. Yeah, we're gonna move past that, but those are just a few things why I really love Pilates. And it's really challenging, and I feel like it makes me a better person overall. Like honestly, it has definitely changed me as a person. And also, I was gonna add one more thing. I have been really working on my muscle strength and like growing my bone. And I don't know how many people know this or not, but like your muscle becomes bone, and I didn't really know that before, but now that I know that, I'm like, I need to build more muscle so I can have more bone, because I'm pretty small boned, and for longevity reasons, I think it's really important to have like a good amount of bone marrow in your body. So yeah, that's another reason why I really love doing Pilates. And I know you can build muscle other ways, I know. It's just for me, those things add up, so I'm just like, okay, love it, love Pilates. We have eating outside. Love eating outside, something I started doing a couple months ago, mainly because I was going through my health stuff. Still kind of am going through health stuff, but when you go through health things, I feel like it makes you go on your own journey. If usually it's not fixed by the doctors, you go on your own journey to kind of figure out what is wrong with me, why do I feel this way, what can I do to help myself. And so when I went on that journey a little bit, I figured out that one way I could help myself for digestion was to eat outside. And so whenever I can, like usually sometimes recently it's been really hot outside. So in the morning and like in the evening time, sometimes for lunch, I'm just like, no, it's too hot. But most of the time when it's like, it's fresh and nice outside and I'm not at work, I will eat outside, and it's been really nice. And you definitely notice the difference. I personally can. Maybe you like try it and see, let me know if like you can like tell the difference. But I've definitely noticed a difference in terms of digestion. It's also like you're eating outside, you're just more in tune with yourself and you're more aware. You're like hearing the things that are going on around you. Like if you live in like a house or like a neighborhood, you hear like birds and animals outside, and you're just like kind of like one with nature, which I think is so important, and we definitely have lost touch with that. So that's another kind of side to it. So highly recommend eating outside if you can, and try it and see how it makes you feel. Moving past that, we have listening to John Keith, specifically in my car. Okay, so for music, I have been going on this journey in terms of my walk with God, and I have tried my best to not listen to secular music. And for me, like in the beginning, I guess when I started this kind of journey of like not listening to secular music anymore, I had such a hard time giving up like rap and R&B, because that was like, I don't know, I love listening to rap. And now that I like look back on it, I was like, girl, that is intense. And like, it's just the kind of stuff I like to listen to. I don't know, like I can get down to like mellow beats and like just other genres. I definitely can, except for rock and EDM. I will never ever do that. I can't. EDM just makes me like, I don't know how people can do EDM. It makes my brain hurt. not even my brain, it makes my whole skull hurt. Like it's just pounding. Anyways, so yeah, music, John Keith, rap. Backtracking, you see where I'm going, backtracking? I have had such a hard time giving up rap and R&B, and then I prayed a lot about it, and it's definitely something I felt called to stop doing. So I kind of went on a thing of like, okay, now how do I find artists that I like that are praising God, and like their music is their music is aligned with like what God calls us to do. They're Christian artists, they love God, they put God first in their music. And so fast forward to like a week ago, I found other artists, but like he's my favorite artist currently. I love him. He does rap, yeah, and it's just fun because like for me the hardest part about giving up rap was when I go for runs. I love listening to rap. It gets me hyped, it gets me like excited, it gets me motivated, it keeps me motivated, and it's also like the beats, like they're fun. And so now I have a new artist that I actually like, and I think like Christian rap has been good recently. Like 10 years ago, terrible. 10 years ago it was pretty bad, you guys, and it was pretty cheesy, and I think we're doing better, and I'm really excited for that. I'm really happy. So John Keith, specifically in your car, try it, highly recommend. And he has really good like music, and for me, I like his style, and like there's just something about listening to it in your car. It's like the beats, the bass, everything. You just crank it up a little louder, and it's the summertime, so like roll down your windows. Maybe if it's nighttime and the sun is setting, it's just a whole vibe, a whole mood. Yeah, so listening to John Keith in my car has been one of my favorite things to do like at nighttime recently, with like fresh air coming through, just bop into the music. Yeah. Also, when I drive to Pilates in the morning, that's how I get myself hyped. Yeah. We're on number 8. Number 8, I put dresses. I'm wearing a dress currently. I've been loving dresses. It's also the summertime, so it's kind of just nice and easy to just put on a dress, accessorize maybe a little bit, and walk out the door, stay at home, whatever you feel. Dresses are just nice, and also they make you feel feminine, I feel like, and I love that. I've been trying to work more on my feminine era. I hate the word era. I've been trying to work on my feminine game recently because I don't know, I just feel it. I don't know, randomly sometimes you wake up and you switch on like a new thing and a new mood or a new like feeling, and I felt like I just wanted to start like being more girly, being more feminine, like, and I don't think it's for like everyone's different obviously, but it's just like, I don't know, they make you feel more feminine and like in your feminine energy, and I really like that. And it's the summertime, so it's really hot, and it's just nice to have something light on. So dresses have been really fun, loving it. For number 9, I have social media breaks. So I've been kind of like experimenting with this recently. I used to take like a day, and then like sometimes like 2 days. I think it's just really nice. It makes you so much more aware of just like life. You know what I mean? Like if you take your phone away, what are you doing throughout the day? Like how are you like moving about your day? How are you doing life? How are you interacting with people? How are you interacting with nature? Like it's just something to be more mindful of, in my opinion, and I've just really been loving it. I took like a good amount of break, and I actually like I would be so happy without social media. I genuinely think so, and I've been really loving it. The only thing is like the aspirations like that I have for life, and like the goals that I have for myself in terms of career and just like life in general, all of them have to do with social media. So obviously I'm never like gonna like completely give that up until maybe I have a family someday, and I can definitely go without social media. But I don't know, definitely recommend social media breaks. It's really nice. It's really, really nice. Like your brain feels clearer. Like the amount of content we consume throughout the day, it is literally like, boop, 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 boop. Like it's just going into our brains. And when we go to bed at night, I sometimes will lie awake in bed thinking about like a clip of a video I saw in the morning, or like like going through content I've seen that day. Like some of it was like, sometimes it's educational. Like my TikTok is educational. Like I like learning things. I love TikTok. I love learning things. And I love Instagram because like fashion and it's fun, and like you can definitely learn things from like those social media platforms, and it can be for good. I'm not saying it's like bad. I'm just saying like it's just kind of nice to just be like grounded and like just be like like at peace. And I don't think social media has that. Like it can never be something that gives you peace. It can never be something that like lets you just like clear your head. Like there's no way, because we consume so much information, and just because it isn't bad doesn't necessarily mean it's good. So I don't know where that will lead to. This is probably the question everyone has and will have for the next however long we live, but I just think that it's really nice to take a step back and like take a break and do it for however long you feel, honestly. So yeah, social media breaks, highly would recommend, okay? Moving on to number 10, I have no stress mindset. So there's a little bit of backstory to this, and I might do like another video going deeper into this, but a year ago, so 2023 and 2022, I was in full stress mode. My nervous system was whack mode, and I literally probably had one day a week where I wasn't really stressed out. I don't even know if that was the case. Like all the time I was stressed out. The smallest things would cause me to stress out. And the majority of it was self-induced. And I think that because I was in such a go mode, my nervous system never had a break, and my parasympathetic, is that parasympathetic system? Is it system? There's parasympathetic something. That was barely there, okay? That's all I have to say. It was barely there, and I was so out of touch with my body, so out of touch with just like a lot of the things that like were going on internally, and that was part of the reason why I got sick, is because of the stress. And so when I got sick, it kind of made me more aware of everything and how I've treated my body, how I've been so disconnected with myself. And you guys, that is so important. And like it makes me so sad to think about Josie 2023 and 2022, because I want to give her a hug. She was going through like so much stress, and yet like her body was just holding on to that, all of that. And it's so sad to think about. But now my point is, we live in such a crazy world, unfortunately, and that's not how God intended it. But because we live in such a crazy world, I think that we really have to be more mindful of ways we can manage our stress throughout the day, because it is not good for us. In no way, shape, or form is stress good for you. Maybe like working out, that kind of stress, but no, like in general, stress, it's so bad for our mental health, for our body, like the trauma it causes illnesses. So my point being is that I think it's really important, and I'm saying this out of like love, that we're just more aware of the stress that is happening around us. So my thing that I've been loving is being more in a mindset of stress-free. I just like every time I stress out, now I praise Jesus and I give it to God and I lay it at his feet, because the thing is, 99.9% of the time, the things that are causing us so much stress in that moment are not going to the next day. I promise you, 99.9% of the time, it will not cause you that much stress the next day. So why? You have to just like take a step back in that moment and be like, this is really not that big of a deal. And like, I know words are easier than like what is actually happening, and like easier said than done. But if you take a step back, your mind will also take a step back. And therefore, you can find ways to kind of walk yourself down from like wherever level you're at. And sometimes humming will do it. Sometimes just like even walking yourself through that situation and being like, is this really that big of a deal to me? And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. And you can, if it is, you can just be like, how are what are some things that I can do right now to not be so stressed out, even though this could be a big deal potentially. And like maybe hug yourself, hug someone, write it down, journal it out, any ways that can get you to kind of just like level down a little bit. All right, stress-free mindset, okay? I personally highly recommend just praying, because when we are stressed out, like we're kind of belittling how big our God is, you know? Like he is such a big God. He can do anything. Why not go to him first, you know? Like instead of freaking out and crying over it, why not go to him specifically and then go about that afterwards, okay? Anyways, we're gonna move past that. Number 11, I have been loving turmeric lattes or turmeric lattes, whatever way you like to pronounce it. I stopped caffeine, okay? I'm the girl who used to drink about 600 milligrams of caffeine a day last year. Hence, addition to the stress, okay? And the year before that, like my caffeine intake was out of this world, crazy high. And I love coffee. Like I love coffee, okay? I do, like, and I love the smell of it, and I still do, but I just realized for me, I don't need caffeine in my life. It's honestly just more of a stressor for my body. Also, it's like not really adding value to my body. And let me tell you, the withdrawals, they're a little bit difficult, especially if you drink coffee every single day. But then you stop and you actually feel better. Because what you need to realize is that life is pretty basic in terms of trying to take care of yourself. All you need is good rest, good sleep. You need fresh air, you need sunlight, you need water, food, you need Jesus, and there's probably a couple of other things, but those are some of the major things. And so like, if you get good rest, and that's what I've been prioritizing and working on, if you get good rest, when you wake up, you do not need coffee, my friend. You do not need matcha, okay? You don't. They can be, for some people, like a great ritual that they like having in the morning. I get that. And also, I'm not a parent, so don't come for me in that aspect. But I'm just saying, if you're a young adult like me and like, I don't know, like, and you don't, maybe you want to test out like not having caffeine, let me tell you, it's a fun ride to be on. And so, because I like the ritual of having a drink in the morning or sometimes in the afternoon, something that's just like fun to have, I love turmeric lattes. And turmeric lattes are wonderful because turmeric is great for inflammation. It has so many other benefits. I'm pretty sure it's an antioxidant. And I have like a turmeric soy latte, and it's just a fun drink. So if you like the ritual and you want to maybe like test out giving caffeine, try a turmeric latte. Highly would recommend. I love it a lot, and it's so good for you. I will say, if you do it, drink it with a straw because it might sting your teeth a little bit more. But coffee does too, you know, like, and so does tea technically. So that's all I have to say. 12, okay? We have 2 more left. On number 12, I said Glossier's Cachette lipstick. I've talked about this on my Instagram, my TikTok, a lot. I love it. I love this lip shade. It is like my favorite probably I've come across, and I think it's like my go-to this summer. It's just like a nice little like brown maroon kind of situation, and it's just fun, and I think it really goes well with my skin tone. So I've been loving specifically that like lipstick, and I think that like sometimes it's also fun to just not wear that much makeup and have like a gloss or a lipstick and just go about your day, because it's just like, it's like the French way, you know, like you have either makeup and then no lip, or like a lipstick and just nothing else. It's fun. I've been loving going kind of extreme on things, and so this lipstick has been my go-to in terms of that, and it's just a beautiful like summer color. And so yeah, if you want to try out the Glossier's Cachette lipstick, I would recommend it. Okay, we have our last but not least, history podcast or history related podcasts. I'm stumbling over my words, okay? And it's the last one. I don't know why I got stumbled over. History related podcast. I'm a girl who's always loved history. History class is my favorite class, and I aced history class every single time, no matter what grade. And I took some college classes, did not get my associates, but like I took some college classes. Every single history class I took, I aced. And I love it. It fascinates me. And I know that the American history classes we took was kind of a lie. we're not even gonna go there, but some of it's a lie. And so like sometimes podcasts I listen to have been like kind of interesting in that aspect. And I also want to say like history, biblical based podcasts are also really interesting, because I like bringing the Bible in with like history has been like one of the most fascinating things for me this past like 6 months, because my pastor brings in history into his teachings, and I think that's my favorite way I can listen to a sermon. Now that I've like done that, I'm just like all the other ways kind of just like they're beautiful still, but like all the other ways I'm just like this is just so much more exciting to me. So yeah, history related podcasts, specifically like a few podcasts like Stuff You Should Know. That's like one I like. Another one I recently heard about is like What You Missed in History Class. And then there's like some like there's some YouTube episodes I've been listening to in terms of like biblical stuff. Solely like not is this solely? No, not even solely. Okay. On the topic of the Book of Enoch, I've been really fascinated on listening to podcasts on that. There is a podcast called Blurry Creatures, I believe, and they have like some things that are like technically I don't know what I was gonna use that for, that are like that are topics we hear about but no one really goes deeper into. So it's just interesting to listen to and like kind of educate yourself on that kind of stuff and get different perspectives. So that is my list of things that I've been loving recently. It's kind of all over the place. I know, so many different topics, so many different categories, but I hope you're able to take something out of this. I know this was a long chat, so hopefully you're able to stay with me through the whole thing. If you're still here, I love you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next week. Okay, love you. Bye.
I like it, but it's not okay.